Hey people, it is what is it, Monday morning. So I'm just gonna do some follow up. Well, we're gonna read we're doing your comments, and there were a few comments already coming from the video I eventually got uploaded last night. Yeah, I'm just doing the screen capture, so this won't last very long. You won't have to be looking at my messed up mug. I've been kind of sick. Had some cold. I don't know. I drank a shitload of OJ and TJ and not in TJ, tangerine juice. It's fresh squeezed stuff. Trying to beat this. I don't know. Maybe I got pneumonia. Shit. I don't know. Taking my vitamins and I'm so exhausted. Just did the stairs once at the beach and I was like almost gasping for breath. But other than that, I don't feel that bad. Anyway, let's get to your comments. So I'm going to kind of do this on a per video basis. I think that's probably the best way to do it. So this video did on Kwaku's apologetics on the $100 billion and the illegal actions in the line by the brethren. I'm going to pop into the video. That way we'll be on YouTube and I can see the comments in their entirety.
Hey, Dodger Dave here.
Goodbye there, Dodger Dave of yesterday. So now we're going to go down into this and toss some glasses on here real quick. Alrighty. So let's start at the bottom, I guess, which would be where we would get our first comments. No, this is the first one right here, it looks like. Okay, so Brazil Bro. Let's open the whole thing. Oh shit, are these glasses gonna work? Okay. Alright. Says Brazil Bro. When I was in the Sao Paulo MTC, one of the leaders of our section introduced himself as a lawyer who was called to work in the MTC. He was American. While he was there working for the church, as we got to know him, he revealed he was working on major cattle farm deals in the tens to maybe hundreds of millions of dollars. I thought it was strange the church was in Brazil buying up everything that wasn't nailed down. Once in the mission field, all I saw was poor, nearly starving people that would go weeks without eating meat in order to have money to feed us meat and good food when it was their turn to feed us, the missionaries. It makes me sick. The sacrifices of the members of the church, while the sacrifices made by the members of the church while the church was profiteering off their backs. Not once did I see a bishop's storehouse or see any help given to struggling members. Okay. Yeah, so Brazil Bro is giving personal testimony, personal experience, witness, while in the Sao Paulo, Brazil mission experience, that, things aren't quite the way that Kwaku was trying to paint them in his video. So we know that the church gives or allots $40 million per year for the whole world for use on these charitable projects. And he I think that's probably in addition to the Bishop Storehouse issue. However, but the way it's painted, if you live in, let's say, Utah or Salt Lake City, You may have become accustomed to feeling you have a safety net economically, and I'm not sure how much that's changed in recent years. With the church, like, hey, if you're given the idea. I lived in California. You're given the idea, if you're faithfully doing your very best and working hard and paying your tithing faithfully, the Lord will provide one way or another. And if that comes to eating Deseret Industries food from the church, which, by the way, isn't the most healthful food. It's interesting how they then that'll happen. The bishop's storehouse is there for the faithful. But for God's sakes, pay your tithing even if you can't pay other obligations. And so, then there are times when the church's welfare program, which is in addition to sucking up tithing dollars, they want you to pay into the fast offering and into the welfare. And those additional ways of sucking you dry are where the money comes for this bishop's storehouse, purportedly, where members can, rely on at least maybe not starving to death if you run into financial trouble. Well, it's different when you're not in the United States. I haven't been all over the world. I've been in Costa Rica, Panama, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Mexico. Although I wasn't going to church in all of those, I've been to church in the first three. The three closest to South America. Panama, Costa Rica, quite a bit in a lot of churches. And a lot of meeting houses would be the proper word, and also in Nicaragua. But my time was primarily spent in Costa Rica, and like Brazil, bro, I expressed in the video yesterday, it ain't like that, Quaco. It ain't like the church just reaching out and helping people. No, they ask the members for more, and then it's like, okay, so if you're going to bring some stuff next week, what are these people going to do this week? There was no bishop's storehouse. Not where I was, and if he was in São Paulo, I mean, São Paulo is an economic powerhouse that dwarfs New York, probably, right? So, as a missionary, Brazil, bro, did not encounter that, and like I said, I've read people's stories where they said, well, the bishop said, you want to take the sacred funds of the Lord? You sell your freaking couch and TV first, sell your furniture, after these people have been faithfully, tithing, giving money to the church, but that's not a donation. It's the IRS calls it a donation, but in the church, we know that's not really a donation. You owe it to the Lord. It's all the Lord's. Everything with which you have been blessed belongs to the Lord. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. If you just give back 10% of what He's given you while you worked your rear off for it, that's the kind of psychology that is used to extract money from the members. So thanks for sharing that, Brazil, bro. And yeah, we gotta talk to some. Maybe we can do something live or whatever, just on the phone and put it on here or something. Maybe I gotta afford Zoom. I don't know. I haven't been able to afford my car payment. Anyway, Dave trying to survive here on the streets in poor health at this point. But that won't last. I will get well. It gets cold at night. Why on earth does he talk so fast? He sounds like he's full of caffeine. He cannot slow down. Alright, so that's Heart Opened. Heart Opened, Kwaku's a bad guy in a lot of ways, but I sped him up because I didn't want to listen to him any longer than I had to. So in the YouTube controls, I bumped him to one 0.25 his normal speed. So it wasn't caffeine in this case. All right, Randy. I thought Randy gave me more than one comment, so let me look down below here. No, it's just Randy and me responding. Okay. Randy T says, Dodger, going through your video now, Kwaku is such a manipulator, fast and loose with the truth. Fast and loose with the truth. And you're right, he sounds better at 1.0 and not 1.25. No, that was the other dude. I was trying to slow down so we could actually listen to what he had to say more carefully, because he was discussing some financial details that I didn't want to just blast past people. He was presenting evidence of the extreme dishonesty of the brethren with regard to this $100 billion being sheltered on the claim that Ensign Peak Advisors meets the standards for a charitable organization, support organization, whatever the heck you call it. Funny thing, it is just about obvious to anyone that if the LDS Church has money to help people, then why do they have so much cash? Duh. So yeah, like I said, in the thanks, Randy. Yeah, Kwaku, talked about various activities where the church has, and often in very high-profile ways, so that they can be seen of men, as the New Testament tells you you are not to do, like the Pharisees standing on the street corners with their Mormon helping hands t-shirts on. Yeah, they do lots of money for charitable things, like all these organizations do, because it's good PR, people. It brings the cash in. And some people get helped. But it's not the way Kwaku was painting it, and that was also kind of irrelevant, because we already know they spent $40 million, and they've been spending that same amount while their assets have been going up, without the $40 million going up, because they probably didn't want to bring attention to the fact that their assets were going up. So, yeah, they anchored people into the idea that everything's just the same as it was. All right, is that all the comments we got on that video yet? Hey, well, it was last night. It uploaded kind of late, like 11:30 West Coast time, something like that. Had some technical issues, but finally got it to happen. All right. How about some more comments, peeps? Let's go in here and see what our next video we're going to look at for comments is. So I'm going into the comments section here in YouTube Creator. I gotta be able to know which video it is, though. Oh, that's his icon. Randy is on. Okay, which video is it? Alright, I guess I'm not gonna know. Sometimes I go. Maybe it's the other place where I find which ones are on. Okay, Dodger, going through your video. Oh, that was the same video. Okay. Sorry, people. Oh, yeah, okay. Everything that was under that video is under that. You can see the thumbnail. Okay, so here's somebody's making a comment under the video called LDS Church President Gordon B. Hinckley denying doctrines and whatever practices of the church, right? So, nice. All right, we're able to just go right into the video and see the comment. So what do we got here? All right, this is Frank, 19 hours ago. Is there anybody? Okay. All right. So maybe we'll start. Sometimes the previous comment has application, or is being responded to. Follow the prophet. He'll never let you go astray unless the Mormons say so. That is not doctrine. Okay? All right, Selena O'Gorman 4 months ago said on this, it's sadly not behind us. Talking about treatment of Negroes here that Gordon B. Hinckley responded to in an interview with probably Mike Wallace. It's sadly not behind us. I was a member before. I only saw 2 African Americans. It's still there. The Church of Mormons needs to stop covering it up. They love hiding things. It's sad. Well, that certainly is true. The church rewrites its history. It has correlated lesson materials. Another place where you see this sort of thing would be, teachings of the prophets, and they'll have it on a particular president of the church, and it'll show Brigham Young and his one wife. His one wife, not like 52 wives, but just his first wife or his second wife, right? I think his first wife died when, pretty early on. So they portray him very dishonestly. They just don't. Same thing with Joseph Smith, right? And they sure don't show the spiritual wife system. No, they portray things the way they want you to think of them, not as they actually are or were. All right, so says Frank 19 hours ago, the Mormon Church is not a church, but a business run by corporate stooges. Christ has no say in anything. You pay 10% of your income to belong and attend meetings. Hang on, people. These glasses just are not adjusted for this distance. All right, I got my good glasses, but I don't know how much better it's going to be because they're for a little farther. They're so like, anyway, I got some 175s, plus 1.75 somewhere from the 99-cent store, but I don't know where they are. They're some pocket somewhere. And I just have to kind of recline here so I can rest while I'm doing this because I'm just kind of suffering from exhaustion. All right. Although I have actually got up and done some things, it's just, I'm out of breath for doing much of anything. Everything's going to fight whatever this is. Hopefully it's not pneumonia. All right, it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation, a fake religion that is in fact a syndicate run for the benefit of the few at the expense of the millions. The temples are all a hoax. My advice, leave this gutter religion. You're better off on your own. Peace out. Okay, well, I have to agree with a lot of what Frank is saying there. However, there's a point of view that I don't share with Frank in that he's calling this a fake religion and saying that Christ has no say. So Frank is a person that believes that Christ is more real than the Tooth Fairy, and I'm not. I don't believe that Jesus of Nazareth was an historical figure. After the study that I've done on that subject, all religions are businesses. All religions are in the business of programming you to obey the state, generally. And they deify offices of the state. They program people. They manipulate people for whatever purpose is, and often for war, so that you'll be loyal to your leaders. And it's part of the divide and conquer, utilizing Hegelian dialectic techniques, so that you've got people believing one thing and passing out hate and judgment through Christianity. On people with different lifestyles of all sorts. The sexual purity bullshit is a way to make people evil. The sin next to murder, having an intimate relationship when you're not licensed by the state for it, that's the sin next to murder in Mormonism, and Christianity follows a pretty similar belief system there. So, I don't see any of these religions as something that is good. They're there to, generally, religion is, the reason they get tax exemption is because they're doing an important job for for the state by creating loyalties, God, family, and country business. In Egypt, maybe it was, deifying the pharaoh himself, and you got the priest class people pumping that belief shit into the people. Here in the United States, they're saying, in Mormonism in particular, and Christianity, the people are programmed to believe that the Israelite God had something to do with America forming and the Constitution of the United States being inspired, even though it pretty much doesn't apply to you unless you live in the District of Columbia or a U.S. territory or our government employee. So, yeah, a country is not what you'd think it is. It's just a plantation, and it's privately owned, just like all the sub-plantations within it. And these religions are there so that people will believe God wants you to, be a stand-up citizen and support this government and its military-industrial complex, murdering people all over the world for the Roman Empire that it serves. All right. There was my rant on that one, huh? View more. I think this would be going back further. And I don't think I'm going to do that at this point. So, so this video has gotten pretty popular because it's a suggested video on something that's popular right now. In other words, YouTube, a Google company, pretty much controls the exposure that I get on YouTube. And sometimes my videos get picked up by something that's popular. But a lot of times it just seems they manage to do everything they can to suppress views. Why would that be? All right, the next comment comes from the video on the LDS, JW, and Roman Catholic pedophilia, Satanism, satanic ritual abuse, and human sacrifice video in Latter-day Satanism. This is my most popular video for the last year, I believe, or it's got the most view time. It's a long video. I don't know if it's got the most views. Well, shit, it's got 3,000 views, which for me is pretty good. And it's got really important information that may change your view of society. All right, excellent report, says John Bystrom. Thanks, John. And a week before, Ryan says, what was that annoying clicking sound? Too bad this may have been interesting. I don't remember what the annoying clicking sound was, sorry. You missed out a lot of good information by not suffering or enduring to the end. Ryan, volume, please. Yeah, well, you have to listen to it in your car. I'm on the streets, people. I don't have the finest of everything to produce everything, or sometimes I have very difficult circumstances to work in, and I'm just trying to survive. That's why I need you to send me money, people, so I can not just disappear and die while I'm trying to do this, at least, right? It'd be great to be able to see my kids again. I used to be like super dad. Now I haven't seen some of my kids that my wife disappeared with in years. Well, one of them for years and the other one only for a few minutes. Okay. My Sweet Chaos is going to talk on how Mormon and Abrahamic... Okay, so this is a very recent video of mine. Okay, what do I... Come on, people. What am I doing here? All right, here we go. I'm going to go down in here. So this video is how Mormon, Abrahamic, and Christian teachings destroy our self-worth and especially deprecate women. Now, I just did this the other day. This is the last video I'd done until last night, right? It's got 119 views. And let's read all the comments since it was very recent. All right, DJ Norman says 20th view, 4th comment at 15:45. Okay, maybe there was something before that. No, screw it. I'm just going to start at the top and go to the bottom. Okay, so My Sweet Chaos 2 days ago says, loved this video. Now she's going to quote me. Bitch, your pedestal is lower than his. Made me laugh. Too bad it's true. The prejudice and racism in the church and other Christian churches is sickening. And how they brush it off with, well, now we believe, act different, etc. This annoys me, she says, because, like you said, the LDS Church teaches that if God changes, he ceases to be God. And yet the teachings change all the freaking time. Yep. And that's straight out of the Book of Mormon, in case anybody's wondering. God will cease to be God if he changes. That is in the Book of Mormon. Okay, a week ago, still struggling with the glasses I got here. Kimmy Zirkle? It's just such fine print I can hardly read it. We're not under Old Testament. Jesus finished it on the cross. New covenant was made, all mankind. Only one seed chosen. It is Jesus Christ. All mankind are filthy as rags. God doesn't need us, but you need him. Sorry. God doesn't need us, but you need him. Only one creator. He, by his Spirit, created his self in flesh form by this one Y chromosome seed, not man's seed, but his own sinless seed. He put into virgin womb and created his self God to the Son. He became named Emmanuel. Then the Son, Jesus Christ at birth. How is world so crazy confused about Bible? People killing each other, claiming themselves as some chosen or has authority over others, men, women, and are filthy rags, full of sin, confusion, and blind. In what the Word of God is Bible is all about, oh my God, how ignorant has religious groups have become. Believe in me, Jesus, you shall have everlasting life. Adam was one that God cursed when Eve was beguiled, but Adam sinned. He was told first by God before Eve was created from his rib. Adam's sperm seed is cursed by death for sin. Jesus' sperm seed came from Father, not man's sperm. He used woman womb for her spirit and was pure. She didn't have cursed sperm seed, but God put the death on man's seed for his sin that Adam did sin. Okay. You know, that's just the kind of thing anyway, thank you for sharing your view, or the programming that you've received. So, that whole people are, dirty as rags idea, we're all carnal, sensual, and devilish, was, the topic of discussion in that particular video, or it was a main topic, that and the fact that Eve and the daughters of Eve, as the women are called in the church or in the LDS temple, are treated differently and as second class human beings in LDS theology and in biblical theology. So this person's trying to say, okay, well, that's all finished. It all went away because Jesus died on the cross, which is kind of bullshit that Christians are told. But like I've said before, your Jesus character says right in there, I came not to destroy the law, but to fulfill it. Not one jot or tittle shall pass away, but all shall be fulfilled. So the only thing that Jesus fulfilled in this Christian theology, in this Roman gospel that was meant to supersede the Jewish gospel for social, manipulation, reasons, socially manipulating reasons. That's why we have these religions. The only thing he's fulfilling is the blood magic atonement for sin to this evil, the Jewish war god Yahweh. Okay, so Jesus was not wiping out Jewish law. Wonder if you see that orange crab. Yeah, so Jesus was not wiping out all the laws of the Jews. By doing this, what he was doing was fulfilling the requirement of payment in blood for sin to this bloodthirsty Jewish god. That's the idea behind that. It doesn't mean that all these other things that had legal remedy within the, what we've got there are gone away. If someone committed an offense to the Jewish belief system, be it blasphemy against their filthy God, be it adultery, how dare you violate another man's property rights by, messing with his wife, no matter how badly he treats her. This is just Jewish law. If someone was gay, it says to kill them. If your children disobey, it says to kill them. If you're not abstaining from walking a certain distance or picking up sticks to cook dinner or whatever on the Sabbath day and satisfying the narcissistic needs of the Jewish war god, then the prescription is to kill you. And these aren't to pass away just because Jesus atoned for people's sins. But the more and more that the Roman theology began to be, inculcated into the Roman Empire, the stronger this belief has become that Jesus did away with everything having to do with the Old Testament. Well, did he do away with tithing, you bitches? Did he? Mormon Church sure doesn't seem to think that's the case. Okay, this person obviously wasn't talking like a Mormon, but yeah, y'all collecting money in your churches too? There's a selectivity in it. Okay, so, but it only applies to atonement, not to civil remedies, etc. All right. Anyway, yeah, this whole thing telling you that you're a piece of shit because you're impure. You're just impure. You got to be pure to be with God. We're all pieces of shit. The only thing that makes us pure is to abstain from everything from the flesh. Right. Hey, Jesus was having dinner and drinking with these people in the stories there, right? But you're impure for everything. Anyway, that's what that video is about. I'm not going to redo the video in this comment. All right, so we had some ones down here. See what we got. Anyway, I'm thankful for the participation, people. All right. Hopefully, I'll go back and give the person a like. All right. What do we got here? Echo Mountain. Mormon teachings do destroy self-worth, but Christianity does not. All right, we're going to argue. When you look at Jesus, who is God in Christianity, so we're rolling again. This is a couple days later, and I was interrupted then, and I haven't been able to find the comment that I was just beginning to read, which stated that Mormonism makes people feel bad, but Christianity doesn't, or something like that. So I guess I'm just not going to address that one too much, other than the fact that I've seen plenty to indicate that Christianity preaches the same purity doctrine maybe just a little bit slightly different, that, you know, the only sexual activity that is condoned by the Israelite or Christian God would be within the way Mormonism teaches it, essentially, in legally and lawfully wedded marriage. So in other words, as condoned by the slave masters of the state. And anything else than that is of the flesh, carnal, sensual, devilish, and dirty. And I'm gonna be continuing on that previous video that I was reading out of Mormon Doctrine by Bruce McConkie, and commenting on those subjects of the harmful teachings of Mormonism, and ran out of memory the other day. So let's see what else I got next. Okay, a week before that, we've got Carl Hawks. Now, which video was this on? We want to be very clear which video this was on. Okay, it's the one with the same picture. I don't know which one it is. Okay, so Carl Hawks says, WTF, we know what that means. What are you talking about? You are seriously mentally unbalanced. I don't think your neurotransmitters are getting across the synapse, and probably not even reaching the synapse. Does your family have a history of mental illness? You need to get some help. I think psychiatry is a crock, but they couldn't make you any crazier than what you are. I love it when these guys never substantiate anything. They throw these these thoughts into discredit someone who has a different viewpoint, but they are unable to discuss the actual points of concern, because normally, I guess it's because the facts don't suit them well, so then they try this approach. So Carl, if you've got a beef with any of the material, hey, even if I am crazy, that's irrelevant. Either what I'm saying is right or wrong, and just discuss the issue rather than try to try the methodology of the church apologists, which is to try to discredit someone in some means so that people won't investigate the facts. If you have issues with the facts facts or conclusions I draw, why don't you present those, intelligently and see where the truth lies. All right, thanks.
My mental health is in question with Carl.
All right. How's that for validating your point, Carl? I must be crazy to talk like that, right? All right, Ryan says, what was that annoying clicking sound? Okay, that's in the SRA video. Don't remember. Okie dokie. Dave Norman says, 20th view, 4th comment at 15:45. Dave's always alert to numerical sequences, some of which go past me. Okay. Mormon Links provided the names of 13 LLC companies. Ashmore Wealth Management, LLT, valued at $1.9 billion. Oh, yeah, look at this wealth of information that this person is given here. Clinton Park Capital Management, LLC. Oh, that's Clifton, excuse me. Valued at $880 million. These are some big numbers, folks. Elk Fork Partners, LLC, valued at, was this 3? These numbers are so big, yeah. I can't even, are we into the billions here? Wow. Meadow Creek Investment Management, Nuba Advisors LLC. So these are additional, these are in addition to the $100 billion hoarded in the Ensign Peak Advisors. So these are additional business concerns of the LDS Church, I believe, that sorry, these glasses are a little difficult. Estevo Mac is giving us, so thank you. Alright, we're going to give you a love on that one, plus a like. Thank you for this good information. And people, so if you take a look at that, it is in, I guess it's in the last video. Second to the last video, not the Kwaku one, the one where, there I am. Okay. Alright, next comment, James Murphy, this is on the, he says, he, meaning this guy who was Kwaku is interviewing, or three Mormons are, bisexual Mormon who paid his tithing, so God hooked him up with a bisexual wife or something. He needs to speak to Kwaku, I'm sure he can relate, says James Murphy. Thanks, James. Alright. Not that I give you a like on that, we can at least give you a like. We'll give you a like. Alright. Yeah, so Mormon Links is where those 13 LLCs were listed, says Esteva Mac, by the way. Alright, Gaito, and which video is this? Oh, this is me doing some karaoke or something, right? This is what happens to those who fall away from the LDS Church. Beelzebub on guitar, wickedly adorable. Alright, thank you. I'll have to give you a love for that because you're appealing to my narcissism. I am not in denial, people. Alright. John Price. This is in the Fuck Mormonism, It Destroys Families video comment. Says John, so you realize Mormonism is horseshit, and that must mean God is terrible. You come off very emotional and bitter, maybe a little drunk. Now, I wasn't drunk, it was the morning. Not that I'm generally drunk at night, but that was the anniversary of my wife leaving with the kids, and I had kind of broken down that morning. So yeah, that was very visible on that video, my emotional state. You come off very emotional and bitter, maybe a little drunk. I'm not judging, but I'm not really convinced that this is truly how you feel. One of the worst things about Mormonism is when people learn it's false, they just assume all religion is false or bad. You can't hate Jesus because the truth is you don't know Jesus. Alright, I already gave John a like. Should I give him a love? I'll give him a love even though I don't agree, because he's expressing, his heartfelt view there. I didn't just assume I didn't just assume that all maybe religion is bad. Probably I may have assumed that Christian religion is bad after doing more study on the non-historicity of the Jesus character, John. I don't believe that the New Testament Gospels are not historical accounts at all. Some good resources for that would be what's his name? It's always nice to have that on the tip of my tongue. Yeah. Anyway, I'll think of it. There's this particular lecturer. He's a doctorate, so he's Dr. Richard Carrier. Yeah, very versed in Roman history. This guy never existed. Aaron Ra has done a lot of study on that. He's given some nice dissertations, but I haven't seen a lot of documentation to back up his stuff. Caesar's Messiah. I'll admit I haven't even read the damn thing. I've read reviews and excerpts and watched a video by the author of it, which discusses how the Jesus character was invented as as an allegorical representation of Titus Flavius, not to mention all the astrology involved. But, yeah, I mean, the Jesus guy shows up, place after place, just, in where the battles of Titus Flavius suppressing the Jewish rebellion occurred, and there are a lot of other things to it than just that. I mean, obviously, there's a whole book on it. It's not going to just be... But, no, Jesus, no. He didn't exist. I mean, there may have been somebody named Jesus. Jews aren't going to be naming their kid Jesus. No guy was, resurrected from the dead. All these stories are bullshit. The New Testament, the Gospels of Matthew and Luke vastly contradict each other. For one of them says that there's 42 generations between David and Jesus. The next one says 28, It's ridiculous. The stories, the apostles are in different places on the same time. They just contradict you. They're filled with contradiction. The Age of Reason by Thomas Paine can kind of help people to notice what bullshit the New Testament is. It's invented for political control, like all religion tends to be. So, yeah, I'm not just assuming it because of a bad experience in Mormonism. I'd done a fair amount of study about, I've read Gnostic Gospels, I've read the, history of the compilation of all these things. I didn't come to that conclusion just because I had a bad experience. And I didn't have, Mormonism wasn't necessarily a bad experience in terms of, I wasn't treated badly by people. I think I was a little bit snubbed maybe in particular wards, because the elite are, they're in their own class, but I wasn't treated with disdain or anything. I just wasn't part of the in crowd. I would have to say that people treated me nicely, and not every ward I was in was super rich either, but even the rich people were nice to me. I just wasn't part of the in crowd, right? So, and when we moved to Costa Rica, the people there were really nice. A lot of that economic class gap was gone, and some of my finest friends in Costa Rica are LDS. So, I'm not one of those people that had that problem, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being bitter. I'm bitter against what the LDS leaders at the top do, because they know that they're harming people for the profit of the corporate empire. It's heinous. Now, I do know of girls that have been abused, molested, etc. In fact, Dodger Girl has told me she didn't have any friends who weren't molested in Utah. So, and I think most of that, not necessarily all of it, would be by active Mormon priesthood. But when it is by active Mormon priesthood, you can usually count on it being covered up and victim blaming. So it is a very toxic thing, but that wasn't why I came out of Mormonism, because I didn't even have that, that type of an experience, although, my kids were affected by the harmful teachings of Mormonism, the guilting and still the fucking mind control. Okay. Anyway, appreciate your point of view there, John. Whether or not we agree on that business with Christianity, I appreciate your participation. Okay, we are not an echo chamber here. Aunt Queenie, there you are. And ye did overcome, and ye did succeedingly well. Rock and roll, succeedingly well and exceedingly well. Well, that's very generous of you. Thank you. Oh, even Phoenix, is this Johnny Phoenix? I don't know. Liked it. So what was this? This was this was the, yeah, I have uploaded some karaoke that's unlisted. So but this one was when I sang like Paranoid or something. The internet started failing. It didn't fail for anybody else but me. So, since I was going to sing NIB, Nativity in Black by Black Sabbath, Actually, I started off, it was going to be Boulevard of Broken Dreams, but anyway, they said, well, I don't know why it's messing up, and I said, it's probably Jesus. So, yeah. Hey, you want to check it out? You guys want to check it out? I don't know. Can we even check it out? Boom, boom. Well, God, I don't know. I was clicking right into the videos the other day. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this thing. Thank you, Aunt Queenie, for making me feel special. All right. So, we're adding this 7 minutes on to whatever 34 minutes I already had, 41-minute video. I think we're going to call it right about there. Except for this other guy said, why do I keep deleting his comments? You know what, I'll do that on a different one, because that's a subject I actually want to talk about. Well, the subject that he was inferring, that he was introducing. So, I think it was a he. Anyway, so I will get to that one in another comment thing. No, I didn't delete your shit. Okay, not an echo chamber. You can get deleted, but it's difficult around here. All right, you try to stick to the, the topic, the facts, and don't, just try to character assassinate people. You're not likely to get your comments deleted. Opposition in all things is okay. Shit, I lived with that for the first 16 years of, being married with that horrifying woman. So, yeah, it even made me think the Book of Mormon was true, because Lehi said there must needs be opposition in all things, and she was. So, yeah, not an echo chamber here. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. If you can support the efforts here by sharing these videos at various places, Reddit, Facebook, and anything you can financially contribute so that I can spend more time on this instead of doing bullshit stuff to survive or attempt to survive. That would be good. We've got the largest, basically, library. It may not be always organized library of video material on the LDS Church, subject by subject in the world, I believe. So, Mormon Truth Videos, Gospel Topics Hub is my webpage. That's where you're going to find a lot of stuff. And I just created a new page and added a bunch of videos too, by the way. That one was called like the Fruits of the Gospel, the Restored Gospel. Plus I added new videos to the other pages there. So I'll throw that in the description. Here we go. Just go into docs, and I'm going into my docs, and I'll have these on there, and I'll throw I should throw the new link on there, but I mean, you can get to it from the home page here. And then also in here I've got like the GoFundMe thing, so you can make sure that I don't wind up even more homeless than I already am. If I lost my car, I'd be wrecked and you wouldn't have any more videos, people. Okay. Use these resources to educate people and get them out of the LDS Church. I'm out.